Hello everybody, John Bradley again with forthefitlife.com, bringing you a video. This is Thanksgiving Day, and obviously I have right here Patti Pie. Waited until Thanksgiving because I knew if I did a video, a couple of things were going to happen. Number one, oh, you're going to be a hater or you're talking negative about the Patti Pie, which is nothing of the sorts of what I want to try to do. I want to bring a different perspective on it. The first thing is, I'm definitely not going to sing because I can't sing and I can't bring Patti any more pies, plus Walmart doesn't have any more, so I can't help you there. I'm not even going to do a taste test because quite honestly I don't really care how it tastes. I just want to reel it back in and talk about the pie itself and talking about it from a nutritional standpoint. Obviously it's a dessert, so it's not going to be something that gives us a lot of nutrition from a growth standpoint or from a healing and a health standpoint. But again, just really talking about it from that standpoint. Talking about the Patti Pie, Walmart pies, or any pie that you buy at a Walmart, versus home cooking. You know, a lot of what we talk about with fitness is supplementation and eating a certain way as compared to going out to eat or eating processed or packaged foods. I want to approach it from that perspective. So I did two things. Looked at the Patti Pie, looked at the ingredients that were included with it, and then also looked at Patti Labelle's recipe, the one that she put online and she has in her cookbook, I believe, listing out the ingredients and how she makes it. The Patti Pie, which you'll buy in Walmart, has 20 ingredients in it. 3 of those things are preservatives, 4 different types of sugars, and 4 what we call food additives, or something that's been placed in the food to make it either look or a certain way, or to actually sit on the shelf for a long shelf life and still look edible whenever you go in to buy it. The Patti Pie that she makes herself is only 12 ingredients, only 2 different sugars, no preservatives, and no additives. So there lies my first issue. All the videos that are coming out, whether they think Patti Pies taste good or don't taste good. So when we look at all of the ingredients that are included, you can't tell me that something that has over 20 ingredients, 4 different types of sugars, 4 different types of fillers, and 3 preservatives are going to taste just as good as something that is homemade. But you all have seen lots of videos, lots of Facebook, Instagram, all kinds of posts that this Patti Pie is the best tasting sweet potato pie in the land. I call foul on that because either your taste buds are all messed up and you're so used to eating preservatives and additives and fake food that you can't taste the greatness of something that's made from scratch. The Patti Pie is flour, it's salt, shortening, ice water, which you don't even count that as an ingredient basically, sweet potatoes, butter, light brown sugar, regular white sugar, eggs, half and half, cinnamon, and nutmeg. That's it. That's how your grandma used to make it. That's how your mama made it. That's the pie that we all know and love that really has that great taste. Whereas when we look at the Patti Pie that we can buy that can sit on the shelf, is designed to sit on the shelf not for days or for weeks, but for months and still be appetizing enough visually and also taste-wise for you to buy it, has sweet potatoes, enriched flour, sugar, palm oil, eggs, maltodextrin, corn syrup, water, butter, modified cornstarch, dextrose, salt, potassium sorbate, spices, something called carrabinol, citric acid, sodium propionate, sodium phosphate, xanthan gum, and L-cysteine hydroxychloride. And you're gonna tell me that tastes good. No! So stop with the videos, which they'll probably stop now because Thanksgiving's over. Patti Labelle has had her shine, but let's get back to telling the truth. If we're gonna use videos and social media to promote something healthy. Promote something that is gonna be good for you, but also something that tastes well also. The second thing with it, and Patti Labelle suffers from this as well as many other Americans, is diabetes. When we talk about diabetes, we really have to make sure that we're not only watching the sugar that we take in, but we're watching the carbohydrates in general, whether they're fast-acting carbs or slow carbs. We want to make sure that we're cognizant of that because insulin control is very, very important. This particular pie right here, one slice is 440 calories, which for dessert, I mean, that's not out of line for the most part. But there's 61 grams of carbs, and 29 of those grams ingredients are sugar. So 91% of this pie is a carbohydrate, which is going to cause a spike in your insulin level. I don't care if you're a diabetic or if you're not a diabetic. We really need to make sure that you're cognizant. If you have diabetes, but you act like you don't have diabetes because you take medicine for it or you take insulin. No, if you have diabetes, you have diabetes. And even if you don't have diabetes, you don't want to eat in huge spurts where you're gonna spike your carbs or you're gonna spike anything, because when you spike your insulin level, then your body is gonna go into that store state. And you're gonna absorb all of the calories that you're taking in, and you're gonna store them for either as adipose tissue, as fat, or you're gonna store them as glucose to be burned at a future time. That's kind of the philosophy behind eating 5, 6, 7 meals a day, eating a lot more smaller meals, then you limit that spike in insulin. But you eat Patti Pie, whoop, way up there, and then you crash and you get tired. And you eat some more, whoop, and then you crash and you're tired. If you're diabetic, it's even worse. So again, if you're diabetic, not something that you wanna take part in that much. You want to take part in a sliver of pie. Obviously, I'm not saying that if you're a diabetic or anyone, you shouldn't eat anything that's sweet. But again, make sure when you're eating something sweet, you know what's in what you're eating. A couple of things, because I was curious as well, just to talk about some of the ingredients also that are in the Patti Pie. Obviously, there's some whole foods. There's sweet potato, there's butter, there's eggs, there's water, there's salt, etc. But some of the things that are in there, 4 different types of sugar, and we've seen sugar that has a lot of different names. Maltodextrin is sugar, corn syrup is just another word for sugar. Dextrose is a low-cost sugar that's added to a lot of foods. But also some of the preservatives. Potassium sorbate, which is a preservative. Citric acid. Sodium propionate is a preservative as well. But a couple of different things. L-cysteine hydrochloride, which is it's an amino acid. It's not an essential amino acid, but it's an amino acid, but it's used in food to basically decrease the elasticity of gluten. Another bad word, gluten, but just kidding. But what that for is basically for the crust. But it is an ingredient that you need to know that is in the actual food that you're eating. Xanthan gum is another ingredient that's used in a lot of foods. But it's basically, it allows the ingredients within the pie to stay congealed as it sits on the shelf, because there's water and there's oil in here. So if you let something sit for a while, we know that it's going to have the natural tendency to separate. Well, if you go to the shelf to buy a pie and you see a whole bunch of water rising to the top because the oil's on the bottom, it's not going to look appetizing for you. So xanthan gum helps prevent that. But again, that's an additive that's in there. Carrageenan is another, it's a gelling and a thickening and a stabilizing agent. So it keeps that consistent gelling look of the actual pie that'll allow you to, again, visually when you see it on the shelf, it's something that you're still gonna wanna buy. Modified cornstarch, same thing, another thickening agent, again, to keep it all congealed together. But again, there's 4 ingredients that are just for the visual acuity of this pie. Not how it tastes, but there's 4 separate ingredients that are just for the way it looks. Then there's 4 more ingredients to make sure that it stays fresh while it's in the box, sitting in Walmart on a pallet or finally on the shelf, or maybe in your home, wherever you place it as well. So again, stick with the homemade pie. It's always gonna taste better. Tell the truth. If you're gonna do a video, stop saying that this right here is gonna taste as good as that pie that you probably ate today, that you have at home, that's made out of whole ingredients. It has no preservatives, so if you don't eat it today, if you don't eat it tomorrow, you're gonna throw it out because it's going bad. That's fresh food. That's when you know that you're eating something that's not only somewhat good for your body, but it's also gonna taste better for you as well. Thanks again for tuning in. Check me out at www.forthefitlife.com. If you have any other questions, you can definitely contact me there. And have a great day. Happy Thanksgiving.